Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson, but I'm gonna be going into the Hebrew. Proving that the people that's in the land, the Edomites, the people that's in the land of Israel, primarily is Amalekites, Amalek, from the nation of Edom, right? Them Edomites, the chief house of Edom, that's in the land of Israel, and the um the Assyrian script style Hebrew that they use, right? They use actually the Assyrian script style block Hebrew, right? But yet is Yiddish. And they don't use the Paleo Hebrew. The real Israelites will go back into the ancient Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew. You see right here in this false whitewashed version of the Ten Commandments, where you see the characters. If you look at how they're shaped, that's the Paleo Hebrew. Some people call it Paleo. Some people call it the ancient Hebrew. Or some people call it classical Hebrew or biblical Hebrew. It's all the same. Right? Let's go to this word Paleo so you can get some understanding. So when we use the word Paleo, all we saying is ancient. When you go into the word Paleo, it just means it goes back into a Greek origin that means ancient. So when we say Paleo Hebrew, what we saying is ancient Hebrew. So this is the language that our forefathers, and we're learning to speak back again. This ancient Hebrew. So let's go here. The book of, let me go back. The book of Ezekiel 36 and 5. Let me just go to the whole script. It says, therefore, thus said the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea. This word Idumea means Edom. It's a Greek way that they put it in there to cause the confusion so you won't know what's going on. Which have appointed my land into their possession. They fully fulfilled this prophecy in 1948. With the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. So in 1948, right, you had the state of Israel. These devils set this, the state of Israel up, and they said that was fulfilling biblical prophecy. But that's a lie, because when the Israelites go back into the land, it'll be all 12 tribes, and there will be no more war, right? It'll be peace, right? We'll just, all these weapons, this weaponry is going to be destroyed, and all 12 tribes will be united, and the Lord was going to do that. So these are not the people of the Lord, and they call themselves Jewish. So let's get all into this lesson. Matter of fact, let me show you this real quick. 1 second. And I'm compacting a lot into this lesson. So when you go into the Paleo Hebrew, I'm just going to say ancient so you can know what I'm saying. You know the word Paleo means ancient. Not to cause no confusion. I'm just going to say ancient Hebrew compared to the modern so-called Hebrew, which is they use the Assyrian script style of the Hebrew, right? So-called Hebrew. And they speak the language of Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? It's a mixture of different languages. So right here at the top, the very top, and Hebrew is read right to left. So you see that N, right? That N looking character at the very top to the far right. That's not what we spoke. And then you have this guy being Yehudi. I'm gonna go to this. I got him pulled up. That he created this modern Hebrew language in I think the 1900s. They created this fake Hebrew. We didn't speak this, and they added a vowel system to the fake Hebrew, right? So if you go to the Paleo Hebrew or the ancient Hebrew, down from that end, it looks like an A sideways. That's ah. And then you got ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ha, ha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, pa, ta, za. And so on and so forth. So let's go here. It's a lot to unpack. Let me go back. So what is Yiddish? So remember, let's go right here at the bottom. The Britannia. Britannica. Salakia. Kind of tongue tied. It says at the bottom, Yiddish meaning a language based on German that is written in Hebrew characters. You hear this? I'm gonna read that again. So it has the allusion as Hebrew, but it's not even the Paleo Hebrew. They go to show you that these fake phonies is not the people of the Lord. It says Yiddish. That's what they speak. A language based on German that is written in Hebrew characters. You hear this? That was originally spoken by the Edomites. They got Jews. We never called ourselves Jews. Jewish is new speak of Central and Eastern Europe. So that's the Edomites that migrated into that in Germany, right? That's they spoke Yiddish, but they disguised it under fake Hebrew characters. And it's not even the Hebrew that we spoke and that we speak today. They added a vowel system. So let's go here. Salakia. Right here. Let's go here. This says style so-called Hebrew. It says right here at the top. It says Hebrew, Assyrian writing, is that traditional Hebrew language, name of the Hebrew alphabet used to write both Hebrew and Jewish Babylonian Aramaic. It is often referred to as square script, like I told you, block script. The names Ashur, Assyrian square script, are used in distinguish into Paleo Hebrew. Salaki, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Are used to distinguish it from Paleo Hebrew script. You hear this? It's not the same. Right here. This is a Katavav Ashuri is the term used in the Talmud. The modern Hebrew term for a Hebrew alphabet is simply, and they got that script, but this not the original ancient Hebrew. They speak Yiddish, and like I showed you, Yiddish is a mixture. It's a combination of these German dialects, so-called, that's disguised under this Assyrian script style Hebrew. But it's not even a Paleo Hebrew, because look at the characters. You go here. These are not the people of the Lord. And they added the vowel system, the Ben Yehudi. Let's go to this devil. Matter of fact, let's Salak, yeah. 1 second. Right here, this the Amalekite that created this language. Eleazar ben Yehudi is widely recognized as the father of modern Hebrew. You hear this? This is not the same as ancient Hebrew. And I had a video, I did a lesson maybe a year ago or so. I was trying to find a video, this Jake that does linguistics. He stated that in the video. He said it's not the same. It's not the same. Proving that these are not the people of the Lord. These are not, the Hebrew don't change, right? He spearheaded the revival of the Hebrew as a spoken language. That's nothing but a lie. What he did is put the Yiddish, matter of fact, let's just get more into this. Ben Yehudi's efforts included inventing new Hebrew words. There you go. There you go. And it goes on and on. Salakia. I just want you to see that. And let's go back to this Yiddish. 1 second. Let this load up. Right here. This is the vowels, that's put in here. That's why you got the dots and the so on and so forth. When you go into another style of it, right here, you got the dots and all this other madness that they interjected. I'm going to go into the blue letter. I'm going to show you what I mean. right? So they put the vowels in there, and that 1 second, Salakia. And let me show you something real quick before I go there. And this is doing 66 to 67 AD or CE. Judea. This is what they was writing in. All right, this is the coinage that's in the Paleo Hebrew. Look at the characters. So we, the Southern Kingdom never never spoke or went into the Assyrian script. They retained the Paleo Hebrew, right, from my knowledge. But I'm showing you this is around 66, 67 AD. Look at the characters. It's not this BS, right? So you see what it is. They hijack, and let me say this too. They put this word Jewish there so they really the word Jewish is a hijack from the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. So they put that word there in all their literature so you could think that's when it's talking about them, when it's talking about us, rather, you think it's talking about them because they got that word Jewish in there. And when people think about the term Jewish, they think about the Amalekites, the Edomites that's in the land of Israel today. So Salakia. 1 second. 1 second. All right, so this is when they added the vowels in there. Vowels were added to the Hebrew script in the medieval period between the 5th and 10th century by the Masoretes. Right? They developed a system of vowel markings known as liquid or Masoret marks to indicate the pronunciation of the biblical text. And that's folly because we don't, I just gave you the alphabet, the pronunciations of the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, the biblical Hebrew. This is the language that we'll be speaking. This is the language that's spoken in heaven. And then we'll be speaking back once we go back into the kingdom. It's not going to be this modern Hebrew, which is disguised as Hebrew. It's not even the correct characters. It's not the correct pronunciation, right? This is all folly. This is nothing but a lie, right? So the vowels was added there. Let me give you an example. So how you pronunciate these names. 1 second. So everybody should know who King David is, right? But that wasn't his name, David. So when you go to this Matthew 1:1, when you go to the name David, it says go back to Hebrew origin. So you click the Hebrew, right? And this is that modern Hebrew. It's modern Hebrew, but they pronunciate it in Yiddish. This is really what you're speaking. You got a lot of jakes that they so-called Jewish Israelites because they still fucking with this modern Hebrew Yiddish mixture.
Strong's H 1732. David.
And some of these
and the form just below that, David.
Yeah, that's Jacob said that way. David. That's what the Jewish people, that's how they pronounce it because of the vowel system. But when you really go into the name, these characters right here, you break it down. So this is like a cheat sheet, Jake. If you want to screenshot this, you go to Da, right? You see that same at the very top using day style Hebrew, Da, and then you go back. They see the other, character, Wa. There's Wa. Da. That's how you say his name in the Paleo Hebrew. That was David's real name, Da. Not no David, right? Hopefully this lesson has been edifying. Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rachat, Kodash. Shalom.